So hi there. What we're going to do with this short class is we're looking at core and pelvic floor for breath work and movement, and this is going to be a short 20-minute class. So we're going to start, you need a band by the way, we're going to start in a kneeling position. So if this doesn't work for your knees, then please just modify, sit on top of something or sit on a seat, even sit flat on the floor or even stand. What we're going to do first is wrap the band around the upper back. So whichever type of band you've got, just wrap it around the upper back and cross it over in front of you. So depending on whether you're male or female, okay, and chest size will have a little bit of an impact of what's happening with the band. So what we want to do is just make sure the band is nice and tight. Okay, so you're going to really feel it across the upper back here. And to start with, we're going to really connect in with the breath. So I'd like you to try and think about where we're breathing. You're going to use the band to give you that feedback. As you inhale, try and inflate and really open up through the ribs and the upper back. And as we exhale, we're going to get a little bit of pelvic floor engagement. Okay, so we will start to inhale through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Now, if you can just keep that going while I'm talking, trying when you inhale not to hunch up through the shoulders. So we want to really think about how the breath is working through 360 degrees here. So we are coming up a little tiny bit, we are going down a little tiny bit as we inhale, but we're thinking about inflating all into the rib cage, all the way around and even through the back. Then when we exhale, we're exhaling fully through the mouth and we're feeling like we exhale so fully that we get that feeling of drawing up, almost like a vacuum. So we inhale, and as we exhale, we feel the ribs coming in. We feel that exhale as we draw, and we feel that it's just a natural, we're not having to do anything, it's just natural. Okay, so thinking about that through all the exercises that I give you today. And our first one, we're going to be sitting onto the heels as I just was, but I've turned to the side. So I will inhale. And as I exhale, I'm just going to hover my bottom away from my heels. Okay, and come back down. Now, if this position doesn't work for you, I'd just like you to do it the other way around. So you're going to stand. So your inhale as you sit backwards into a tiny squat, and your exhale as you come back up. Okay, so you have two options there depending on knees. Now, all our focus is going to be core activation, pelvic floor activation, and breath. And the movement is quite small with all of these things that I'm giving you in this little express class. So we're using this band to try and facilitate how we can use the breath as we exhale, keeping our pelvis into a neutral position. And you're going to have a nice feedback into your thighs and your glutes with that one. Okay, so if we can think about now tying the band in a knot around our chest, and stay low if this feels okay, but we're using the band for this feedback again. So this time we're inhale as we take the arms up overhead, and then exhale as you draw the arms down. I'm giving you opposite breath. I'd like you to notice that actually when you inhale and bring your arms up, you might feel a little bit restricted. So let's try and change it to the other way around. Okay, so see if you can exhale And maybe your arms come a little bit higher without having to lean back and adjust the position. So it's all about what's happening about this upper thoracic breath work as you connect in with the pelvic floor. So let's just do a couple more there. So exhale. Exhale fully as well. And then inhale down. And last one, exhale. And inhale to come down. Right, take the band off. We are going to use that in a moment, but not just yet. So coming over into a 4-point base. Setting the heels of your hands underneath your shoulders. We want a nice neutral spine, so your tailbone's pointing backwards. Long through crown of head. And finding neutral spine here, so we're not just letting the back sag or, rounding and letting the head hang. Pulling the shoulders away, tailbone pointing towards the back of the room. And we are going to use our breath with no movement through our body, but we're going to inhale, inflate, and then exhale. And feel how the deep abdominals will respond to that exhale. Obviously, we're working against gravity now, so it will be, your belly will just hang down unless you literally exhale, fully and draw it in. Now, adding this breath work to a weight shift. So we will imagine that we have two pieces of paper, and we're going to slide under one hand and the opposite knee. So we will inhale. As we exhale, we'll have a lightness through one hand and the opposite knee, keeping the whole body still. So technically you shouldn't be able to see me moving. We inhale, place all 4 limbs down, and then exhale. Same thing, other side. So I've got a lightness now into my left hand and my right knee, but you can't technically see it. And that's what we're after. We're after not being able to actually see that anything's happening, just connecting that pressure of how the body is responding with the core. So inhaling every time you exhale, you'd be that opposite feeling from side to side. Inhale and exhale. One last one each side, and you may notice that you find one side a little bit more tricky to feel in the tummy muscles. That could be something to do with the fact you have scoliosis, or you have an overactive or more to the point, an underactive glute, or glute medius too tight, or so it could be lots of reasons. But keep thinking about how you can work on that side that you find more difficult to feel. Then just let your bottom come back, give your wrists a little bit of a stretch out. And we're going to move over onto our back. So walking yourself forwards, taking your band. And I'm going to have my band over my head. So I'm going to lay down into my semi-supine position. So that's where my feet are flat on the floor. And I'm having a neutral pelvis. And I'm trying to make sure the base of my rib cage and my shoulders are broadening onto the mat. So neutral pelvis, we're looking so that the bony bits of the pelvis and the pubic bone are level to the floor, and I've got a small gap between my low back and the mat. Now with my arms reaching up, so wrists over my shoulders, knuckles over my wrists. As I exhale, exactly like we were just doing into that tabletop position, there's going to be a small pull onto the band. It's only small. So we inhale and exhale. And just draw the band apart a teeny bit. Okay, so that band is helping you to find the engagement with your core. Nothing more really. If you get pins and needles into your arms, just let them come down and give yourself a breather for a couple. So again, no movement into the body. I'd like you to feel how the shoulder blades are wrapping onto the mat, drawing down. And when we talk about a pelvic floor lift, we sort of think about that drawing up feeling. So trying to sort of scoop something up into our belly button. That's how we sort of think about our pelvic floor engagement. But if you really work on the breath work, all of that will just happen anyway. So it's the exhale and drawing in, thinking about almost stopping yourself from having a pee and doing a fart. Okay, so that's another good way of thinking about it. Exhaling. And it's a sensation like a diamond almost coming in together from the hip bones and the pubic bone and the belly button. Okay, now rest those arms down for a moment. Just give yourself a breather. We're going to leave the band, so drape it across the belly and let the hands come down to the side. And working on a knee drop next. So a knee drop, we're looking to work on the breath as we bring the knee back up. Now, we want pelvic stability all the time with this. So actually what I'm going to get you to do is put your fingers onto the bony bits of your pelvis so you can actually feel if there's any movement there. So just let one knee drop out to the side. We're not going to overthink it. Just let it happen. You know, don't think too much about what's happening with the pelvis, and then exhale and bring it back up. And we change to the other side. So this is almost your freedom. Yeah. So your freedom to sort of feel what happens when you drop the knee out to the side. The other knee compensates. The other side of the pelvis will lift. And everything just gets a bit messy and a bit sloppy. So let's refine it in so we can really engage into our deep tummy muscles and our core. Right, so this time, fingers onto the hip bones. The other knee isn't going to compensate this time. So you can imagine that knee is against the wall. Then we will inhale as we let one knee drop out to the side to the point where the other hip starts to respond. Then we will exhale, draw back up. Same thing, other side. So we're switching sides. Inhale as the leg comes down. Try not to let this knee compensate. Exhaling, drawing back up to top. And again. So inhale down. That's it. Exhale, up. No movement through the shoulders. You're nice and broad through the collarbones. Yeah. Last one that side before I'm going to give you an alternative to come up onto the tiptoes. So if you're onto the tiptoes, the heels will be lifted. You need to maintain that your pelvis stays neutral here. You haven't started to tuck your pubic bone up to the ceiling and you've lost that engagement. So this time, inhale to take the leg down to the side, keeping aware what's happening that other side, making sure the hip isn't hiking up. And then breathing out. Now try and feel like you get some activity inside that hip bone at the front. Changing sides. So inhale down, keep that other side push firmly into the mat. Exhale up. That's it, good. So keep that going. You might be able to challenge yourself a little bit more here, but make sure the ribs aren't lifting off the mat. So maybe you can just hover those toes as though you've got a ping pong ball underneath the big toe. So as soon as you add that lift, it's going to make it more challenging through your upper body. And if it takes away the recruitment of the deep core, then just keep the feet on the floor. So all too often our upper abdominals will start to have a say-so before our lower ones. So that's why we're really focusing on our lower ones. And then bring your feet so they are flat on the floor. I'm going to take that band back overhead. This time we will work on a single knee fold as we add that small band pull. So a single knee fold is where we're going to lift the leg. As we exhale, draw the knee up to the ceiling, keeping the pelvis nice and still. And we inhale to place the foot down. We'll exhale, draw the band apart. Inhale, place down. Okay, and again, exhale. Just that small pull through the band, remember. And again, exhale. Inhale to place the foot down. Now we're going to see if we can go to double knee fold. So we'll exhale, lift the leg. We'll pause to inhale. We'll exhale as we pull the band again to pull apart as that second leg comes up. We inhale, drop the first leg. Exhale. Sorry, wrong. Yeah, exhale, drop the second leg. Yeah. Okay, and again. So exhale, swap legs this time. Exhale, pull the band apart, lift. Inhale, pause. Exhale, lift. Inhale, pause. Exhale, first leg comes down. Inhale, pause. Exhale, second leg comes down. Inhale, pause. Okay, now as long as you haven't got diastasis or anything like that, so tummy separation, we're going to try coming up into a curl up. So lifting up into a curl up. Now try not to take the band towards your feet here, but we're still maintaining that we lift the band up to the ceiling. So same thing, just in curl up. So we exhale, pull the band apart, inhale to prepare, exhale, second leg comes up, inhale, release the band, exhale, first leg taps down, inhale to release, exhale, second leg taps down. Now you either take the head down or you just keep repeating, okay? So choosing which is right for you. But as soon as you're into that curl up, if it takes the emphasis away too much from the lower tummy muscles, you can't feel that breath work anymore. If there's any type of, really working too hard through your upper tummy muscles, then just stick to keeping the head down and working on the band work to pull apart, getting that deep core activation. So that's what we're looking for to keep that pelvis happy. Really supporting through our powerhouse there. And adding on is good, but if you lose the, like I say, if you lose that core connection, then that's what we don't want to progress too quick. So finding yourself so that you're even from side to side, and then hugging your knees into your chest. So nice and slowly, placing the band down, bringing one leg in and the other leg in, and hugging them in nice and tight. You can bring your head up if you want to, or have a little rock around from side to side. And then we're going to roll ourselves up nice and slowly. And well done. So thanks for joining me for that. And breath work's really, really, really important. So we also want to create the right pattern for our muscles to recruit and our pelvic floor to be able to support our pelvis. And if our pelvis is supported and in a nice neutral position, we have a happy spine. Okay, so have a really lovely rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Well done.